Sorry about that. I was momentarily petrified by the creepy 1970s buzzer alarm. Well, welcome to my future channel, RetroTech San Antonio. This is a channel I'd like to start in 4 or 5 years when I retire. However, since I need to make a product video of a vintage 1972 solid state AM/FM buzzer alarm flip clock radio, I thought, why not throw a video on this channel now? If you are kind enough to subscribe and hit the notification bell, you are very likely to receive very, very, very few notifications. So why not give it a shot? In this video, I do not cover the brochure. However, I did digitize it and put a link to a soft copy in the comments below. Okay, let's get started. This test is just to show the capabilities of the flip clock radio built-in speaker. Here I'm streaming audio from my computer to the radio using a low-powered USB FM transmitter.
Model is going on to viewer named Peter. Peter, thank you for the business. Really hope you like that model. Our next sale is a big one right here in A1. This is a vintage Panasonic flip clock radio. I've been keeping my eyes peeled for one of these for years because I know that they're pretty valuable, and I just have never really found one, but I finally did. I paid $1 for it, and it sold for $109.99 plus shipping. Next thing I'm pulling is over here in D3. Actually sold a few things out here, so I'll just go ahead and pull.
Screen Directors Playhouse. Stars, Joseph Cotton, Mercedes McCambridge. Production, Spellbound. Director, Alfred Hitchcock.
This is the Screen Directors Playhouse, the Thursday night feature on NBC's All-Star Festival of Comedy, Music, Mystery, and Drama. Brought to you by the makers of Anacin for the fast relief from the pain of headache, neuritis, and neuralgia, and RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
That will conclude the closing argument. This is Audible.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension.
This is just a short test of the earphone jack.
I think he would have been the most recent poet we read. And I'll bet they taught you all wrong. I'll bet they told you the road not taken was about making important choices and exhibiting free will, didn't they? I don't really remember. I just remember that my roommate got 2 days in detention because he didn't memorize it. Are you Facebook friends now? With Hank? No. He's not on Facebook. He's in jail in Delaware for menacing his ex-wife. My daughter's wife was stalked by her ex-boyfriend. She says there's no connection between her coming out and his doing that, but you have to wonder. He was an awful man. He slit her tires once. There's still a restraining order against him, though they've heard he went back to Chicago. He shook his head slowly, lips pursed. I'll tell you what, I said. He's not at all like Robert Frost, but I think you might like the poems of James Wright.
This is a test of the flip clock's illuminated panel, nightlight, or power indicator. Modern cameras, armed with advanced low light capabilities, make this flip clock's nightlight look brighter than it actually is. This video clip is a much closer approximation. The light is very, very dim, but I believe functioning properly, so that it doesn't interfere with sleep. This is a test of the sleep timer, adjustable up to 60 minutes or 1 hour. This test was set for about 5 minutes.
Coloring, your choice of scale, but it's like the books. There's so much more. That's the idea, don't you think, Mr. Trevino? He handed it to me, and we went to the door. If you want to come back in the morning for breakfast, please do. Or there is a cafe.
This is a short test of the radio alarm.
I was considering buying one of them as a memento when I caught an... the location of all shops dealing in Edo period manuscripts and artwork. Another, using small pink arrows, showed the point of view of each of Hiroshige's famous 100 views. Yet another, in 6 time-sequenced panels, the rise and decline.
This is a short test of the buzzer alarm. On this radio, the alarm function must be pushed up 4 times, or the 5th place, for the buzzer alarm to function.
Asking them to try to find someone.
2, 3, and 4. This is a test of the volume slider control, the tone slider control, the FM radio, and the AM radio.
You know, this is a peaceful, functional room, he said. More people should have a sanctuary like this. It must bring you pleasure to walk into this room. I'd been warned by the accountant to volunteer as little as possible. So I just said, yes, it does. Not even a desk phone. I nodded. That was entirely right. There was a phone in the kitchen and an extension phone in the bedroom that Etienne called an antique. She told me more than once that if I wanted to get a new phone, she could get good money for my pale blue princess phone on eBay. I'm not rich, but I don't have to sell every small thing I have.
Of the year. Guitarist Andy Summers has said that it was the most difficult song that the Police had ever recorded. At one point, they threw out an elaborate synthesizer track only to leave the very simple and haunting melody beneath. The best idea that...
So I'm thinking that was recorded originally in the 1950s, which makes it as an antique like me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Louis Armstrong and Bing Crosby. Hey, Gone Fishing. Hey, by the way, Gone Fishing, Go Fish is brought to you by our friends at POP Fishing Marine, and now I'm calling it POP Fishing Marine and Outdoors. They got it all. You got to come down here and check it out. I'll tell you why. They got some really super stuff going on around, especially clothing and the UV protect.
Before my final test, I want to highlight some cosmetic flaws with this particular clock radio. There is a small half-inch gouge on the clear plastic window. The simulated wood grain finish is a little matted on the top of the clock radio. There is some corrosion on the metal plated plastic knobs.
So as you can see there, underneath those black blocks, there's actually little VGA chips in there. You know, little IC chips. They're not actually VGAs. They're flat pack kind of things. But the reason why the black
There is corrosion on both knobs.
it's sealing up the bonding wires, because the bonding wires are exposed. This is very difficult to for the average backyard refiner to recycle, to recover the gold from these, especially these ones. They're on aluminium. You can try picking them off. I prefer to just give these to my board buyer and let them use. We'll see what happens. Okay. So that's just a black resin coating. Okay, and look at that underneath. Can you see that gold? And that's why they put the coating on it. It's to cover that gold plate. And not sure, they do vary. Sometimes they're almost impossible to get off. But if we can, yeah, well, we might be able to pry them off, but it's actually very good plating, that bit of gold. So I might just hold on to them and see if I can use a Stanley knife or something, a razor blade, and sort of peel them plates off, because it's actually very good gold. So we'll go for them. Like I said, sometimes it's almost impossible to get them off.
Now, this final test is just a test to show how accurately this 48-year-old flip clock keeps time compared to the clock on an Apple iPad. The flip clock was set about 3 weeks ago, and it still matches the iPad exactly. Now, just a note, vintage flip clocks can only be set to the minute, not to the second. So the way I set a flip clock accurate to the second is simply set the flip clock time 2 minutes fast. As soon as the flip clock flips to the new time, unplug it. As soon as your iPad or modern clock changes time and catches up, plug your flip clock back in. Voila! Accurate to the second. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please take the time to like. And although I probably won't use this channel very much for the next 4 or 5 years, go ahead and subscribe, and maybe a few videos will pop in between now and then. Thanks.